Audio check. Video check. Audio, video check. Audio, video check. All right, we have audio, we have video, according to my iPad. All right. Last time on Tower of Time. Hello everyone, I am Blazar Gaming. And we have finished level 10. Or the 10th floor. We have finished the 10th floor. The map was bigger than the screen could handle. They had all this space. They could have done a better job, but no complaints. We completed everything on level 10. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we move forward. Here's my motley crew, my tank, my healer, my sorceress, my engineer. They're my mains. Human, elf, shadow, ancient. She's an ancient human, over 1,000 years old. We found her in cryo sleep. Save, and let's descend. Sorry about all the noise. There's construction going on, floor above me, across the hall. So all the noise they make is being reverberated through my ceiling because it's one big slab of concrete. So I'm hearing all their noises. All right, what have we got? We're in the observatory, which would be the 11th floor. But since we're going underground, it's the 11th level. If the tower was still above ground, it would be the 11th floor going up. But since it was inverted and shoved into the ground like a railroad spike, it's the 11th level going down. And we've got a battle up ahead, it looks like. I don't see him, but the map shows him. Is it an ambush? Must be below us on another level. Nothing to click on since we've... Ooh, it's all red down there. Dead end, nothing to click on. That must be Proteus's barrier that nothing can break through. Hey Proteus, we got your sister. We're coming to say hello. This goes round and round and round and round. Nothing to click on. It's interesting. Again, I apologize for all the noise. What we got here? A glass tube. Let's save. Nothing to click on except the glass tube. Partially constructed golem in a glass tube. An experiment or a trophy? Don't know. Nothing else to click on here. Some more interesting stuff down below. Ah, here's our first. The shadow constructs struggle relentlessly to breach the swirling wall of energy before them, each attack sending forth a fountain of purple sparks, and shakes the chamber with a thunderous boom. Though your party is only a short distance away and under no cover, the constructs seem oblivious to your presence. So many. The element of surprise will eliminate the advantage of their numbers. As if responding to Kane's comments, one of the constructs stops and turns to face him. A moment later, the area goes silent as all the constructs halt their attack and turn towards your champions. You were saying, Kate? We got the noisiest bunch. The noisiest bunch. All right. So we're fighting a bunch of voids that have 100% resistance to void damage. Oh boy. Okay. But they're susceptible to fire. My sorceress. What kind of skills do they have? None? No skills? They're just... They're slow. They have no magic penetration. There's probably just a lot of them. All right. So we don't have anything we need to do, but let's arrange ourselves like we always do. You come to the back. You to the left. You to the right. And you face everything head on. Let's move you back. Move you back. Is that a barrier there? It sure is. So you need to stay there, I think. And you draw everybody's attention. You step back a little bit so they don't see you anymore. All right. All right, behave yourself. Since they're drawing first blood to the left, let's put you here. Oops, stay where you are. Stay where you are. I didn't mean to do that. I mean to select you. You head towards these guys. Buff yourself. Why is my volume so loud? Sorry, guys. Let me set my volume where it's supposed to be. Oh, yeah. I'll be shaking the whole building here if I'm not careful with my home theater system. All right. Set out your thing here. Buff yourself. Bring out your robots. You bring out your totem. And buff everybody. And you heal the other guy over there. Very good. Now, throw your frost down there. Blast away. Set up this guy. Nuke. Alright. And you need to nuke over here. Alright. He's history over there. Alright. You start moving this way towards these guys. Yeah, finish those guys over there quickly. Who has what available? You have this available. Very good. So far, so good. All right, who's got what available? Buff yourself. Put this guy out. Set this guy over here. Slow those dudes down. Buff yourself. Buff everybody. Let's move forward. Everybody move forward some. So I can see better what's going on. You can nuke these guys. You can nuke these guys. Ah! You head this way. You step back. All right, what do we got available? We have a totem. You can shoot these guys. You shoot every which direction, don't you? Step towards those guys. Maybe you'll get their attention. You guys come this way. You're taking a lot of damage here, so have a totem. You got a nuke available? Not so much. It's okay. Select everybody. Shoot this away. We got one guy defying the wall. Ah, he was almost one shot. All right, what's available? Good. The wall's steering those guys the right direction. He can always heal himself anytime he wants. You have everything available. And nuke those guys. I'll save the bots for a moment. You nuke those guys. All right. You stop these guys. That should do it. And then head this way. Throw up your little wall over here. Get these guys to go a different direction. There we go. Ah. Take him out. Do it this way. You stand ready. Buff yourself. Buff everybody. Everybody is buffed. You cut these guys off. And that's the end of it all, really. All right, what'd we get? A one-hander. Terrible one-hander. And a blunderbuss. Okay, she's at 135.3. Yeah, loss of DPS. But she might can use it. She's at 109.5, 102.2. Yep, she also lost it. 109.5, 92. So, yeah, no help there either. Save. Isn't this map pretty? All the maps have been really nice. What is this? A glass tube again. Looks like the Avatar. Most disturbing sight. Body made of metal looking so alike to you. So it's a metallic human being. Every now and then you'll see the screen hesitate a little bit. That's because I'm hitting the save button as I move along. I don't want to backtrack too far. So I hit the save button like right now. Oops. You will not be able to return to the city after this point. Ooh. Is there anything I need in the city? Void energy is what I just fought against. I could. Oh. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. I could give up some health regen for a bunch of void resistance. Ooh, I'd be giving up a lot of health regen. So you've got, how much void resistance do you have? 52. You have 25, 30, 19. So let's say I gave you 20 more void resist. Well, it'd be 15 more void resist. But you'd be giving up a lot. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. I'm just going to say everybody's ready to go. We will not be able to go back to the city. And I'm okay with that. Guess I'm going to have to fight all these creatures. Unless they just stand there. Looks like they're just standing there. Nope. They waited till they surrounded me, I'm sure. You watch as your champions turn to face you with a look of great surprise on their face. You watch as your champions turn to face you. I'm way up top. With surprise on their face. It is strange to no longer feel their thoughts and senses. Cain is quick to cover his heart with his hand and bow his head. Oh, I just appeared before them. How did I get here? Good question. And Cain covers his heart with his hand and bows his head. Hey, I'm just your commanding officer. Just salute. My lord, it is good to see you. The bottom of the tower awaits. But how did ye all the way down here? The crystal throne has more power than you can imagine, my friend. This should be good. So I have joined the players. That's me up front. I like our formation. Me in the front, my first officer directly behind me. Where is his first officer? There she is, the archer. There's the druid, the giant, the dwarf, and the Shadow Queen. The energy of the barrier sends swirling patterns of light swimming across your champions. Where's the librarian? As they stand before it. The giant, this guy's funny. His name is Baron Boron, a frostling giant barbarian pacifist. I know, that's an oxymoron. A barbarian pacifist. He cautiously places his massive hands against the wall. When the field does no harm, he shoves with all his strength. The frostling's effort has no effect other than to cause the swirling patterns to condense around his hands. Okay, so the giant can't push his hand through it. We have no means to penetrate this. I don't understand. I thought we already disabled the barrier to reach Proteus. Nay, sister, the barriers you breached to disable the tower avatar were not of my doing. This one, however, is. The barrier before your champions flickers for a moment, then vanishes. Sure, he has all the power in the world to do that. Now that the last of you has arrived, come join me. The throne room is near. But isn't it upside down? A tear in the fabric of space and time. A portal that leads not to another world or dimension, but an endless void of cold, dark nothingness. The party trembles with the jarring realization that the hovering black abyss is indeed the realm of the Argante. Though it seems impossible to peer through the ebony veil, a longer glance into the black reveals dark shapes twisting, contorting. Nothing is as it seems. Countless bodies and distorted faces rolling and merging into one another, separating back into many, an entire race of beings existing without end or beginning. Motions that speak of agony or ecstasy. You watch captivated, unable to turn away, as if every lingering second beckoned a secret truth, the means to your enemy's defeat. Let's just take a good look here before I move on. We've got columns. We've got this thingy. Moments later, the searing pain behind your eyes, overwhelming nausea in your stomach, and irrepressible feelings of hatred snap you back to your senses. You haven't been the only ones watching. The Argante focus their ravenous appetites on you and your companions, the weight of their desire nearly bringing you to your knees. Rise up. Stand strong. Look not to the darkness, my friends. For you few, you mighty 8, are the last light of Artara, and before this day ends, the Argante will fear its brilliance. The voice is a familiar one, resolved to end this quest. You and your champions turn away from the darkness and move towards the voice. Proteus yells Kayla to her brother. At long last, our long journey is at the end. Come, friends. That's me. It says that. Me. Kayla is... Where are you, Kayla? Where is Kayla? There she goes. She can't contain. Wait, your grace, it may not be safe. Anxious to catch up with the ancient engineer. Anxious to to catch up with the ancient engineer, your party rushes forward, boldly pouring into the room. You nearly trample the young woman, who has stopped frozen, staring forward intently. She's a young woman, but she's over 1,000 years old because she was in cryo sleep. Your entire party stands within a grand oval chamber, staring at the sight before you in complete awe and terror. What can only be described as an explosion of darkness, frozen in time, lies hovering in midair above the center of the chamber. That's this thing. So that's got to be the portal to the Organte world that he's been holding off the Argante. A geyser of black ink caught in a chaotic web of blazing bright energy. The longer you stare, the more some sort of bulbous ebony creature trying to claw its way out of the ink comes into focus. In a short distance, a weathered man, garbed in the flowing robes of a magi, stands before a massive crystal throne, a far grander version than the one you yourself sat in just moments ago. Face full of concentration and contempt as he holds his left arm outstretched above his head. There's a thin, almost invisible line connecting his body to a web of energy surrounding the explosion of darkness. So he's holding it at bay. Have you ever witnessed anything like this? Nay, my friend, said the dwarf to the giant. I don't even understand what I'm looking at. An explosion can't just sit there. Be glad that it does, Rune Lord. I suspect little of this chamber would survive if it did not. The druid steps closer towards the darkness, his face drawn in fear. We may yet find out if your claim is accurate, Whisper. Whatever it is before us is now frozen in time. Is not frozen in time, merely slowed. My elvish sight allows me to see the darkness creeping forward and the currents of energy pulsing around it. That makes sense. For 1,000 years, he hasn't held them back. He's just slowed time. They're still going to come. They're just coming slowly. Brother, what has happened here? Do not lament, sister. Though my strength wanes, the Organte portal before you poses no harm to me, nor shall I allow it to harm you or your friends. Thought he was holding his left hand up. The text doesn't match the pictures, and he's supposed to be wearing a nice robe. Again, the text doesn't match the pictures. Kayla steps towards her brother, but his face does not move in the slightest. His voice comes from behind. Turning to alleviate her confusion, the ancient engineer stands before you, staring into your eyes in complete shock. You see the glow of your own eyes reflect in hers. She hasn't met me, but she's confused, doesn't understand, and she's looking at me. And I guess she's looking at me because all these people have met me. She has not. She's the one that suspected that there was somebody influencing these guys. And these guys called me the Lord, my Lord, or he did. And she did. But they came to join the battle. The druid, the dwarf, the giant, and the shadow, queen of shadows. They came to join, each with their own quests. He was looking for the seed of the oak, great oak. He was looking for adamantine. He was looking for, I don't remember. He's a pacifist. He's looking for peace on the planet. And she, who knows what she's after. She's the queen of shadows. She's looking for more power, probably. But she's already the queen. Who knows? So, but she's confused, a little bit concerned, and turns around and looks and see the glow of my own eyes reflecting in hers. So we're looking at each other's eyes. You hear the voice in your head. before you speak the words. Any struggle is useless. You are powerless to resist them. As much as I wish I could embrace you with my own arms, my body is bound by the same temporal magic that holds the invaders at bay. To release myself is to release the Organte into our world. Okay. That makes sense. That's why he's frozen, he's not moving, and he's speaking mentally, telepathically. To raise your hand, you raise your hand. That's me over here. Caressing the top of Kayla's ear. We're standing awful far away for me to caress her ear. But okay, I'll go with it. A familiar gesture as if done 1,000 times before. My dear, dear sister, you were never meant to be here. The suspension pod was to protect you for a dozen generations. I have failed you. A dozen generations. It's been over 1,000 years. The huntress, the archer. Why did you keep... Oh, no, the engineer. Why did you keep me there when I am perfectly fine? It was for your own good. It was never supposed to end like this. End like what? What's going on, Proteus? Talk to me. Everybody looked left. Why did everybody look left? Okay. There are some things there. Behind the ancient engineer, the giant, the shadow, queen, the dwarf, take note of large crystal formations lurking in the shadows of the chamber, encased within each a fully clothed human body, all posed in positions of defiance and self-defense. Okay? You step past your sister towards the three. What? Okay. Proteus has taken control of me. I am now Proteus. I step past my sister towards the three. I see 4. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could just be bugs in the text. They are the ones that have come before you, Lord. Before your Lord I now possess. They are the ones that have come before your Lord I now possess. All held much promise, but none sufficed. So you killed them, says the archer. Murder is too strong a word. They were sacrificed for the greater good. You look to each of your champions, watching on, their faces distorted in distrust and disgust, all except the Queen of Shadows, who drifts slowly beneath the explosion frozen in time above, toward Proteus in his crystal throne. So she's making a move towards Proteus. By my own eyes, I bear witness, as much as it grieves me to admit it, the prophecy of the 6 is true. What's that you speak of, Your Excellency? Says the tank, the leader of my champions. In the end of days, in the dying light, 6 will stand against godlike might. All will fall, yet none will fail. on their hallowed names our Tara will prevail. Whisper's form dissolves into a burst of black vapors. In the blink of an eye, a shadowy mass appears before Proteus's throne. As the mystic's body returns to flesh, an ebony dagger appears in her hand. She plunges the blade towards Proteus's throat. Okay, what are you doing, Queen of Shadows? Deceiver, destroyer, the Queen of Shadows denies you your triumph. Just before the blade pierces Proteus's chest, a hand of metal grabs Whisper's wrist. That would be Proteus's sister. She has a bionic arm, a metal arm. So the sister intervenes. Have you lost your mind? He is my brother. Proteus's eyes shift toward his sister and the mystic. His lips barely move. So begins the end. With a tower-shaking thunderclap, time returns to normal, allowing the dark portal hovering above to complete its explosion. The eruption throws everyone in the chamber to the floor, sliding them hard into the far walls. Weakened and struggling for balance, Proteus rises to his feet first, his body sparkling with fragments of bright blue energy. Stunned, you and your champions each rise in turn, finding your own selves similarly enveloped with crackling blue energy. A deafening roar and tremendous gust fills the chamber as a geyser of pitch black liquid-like substance gushes from above the chamber floor. The dark matter disappears into the far wall, as if the wall itself is nothing but an illusion. As the dark eruption flows, purple bursts of energy appear, announcing the arrival of the Argante. You and your champions slowly retreat and regroup, and watch as giant black embryonic masses spill through the portal. The shadow forms quickly take hold of the disgusting organic heaps, then disappear in a flash of purple light. The process repeats, the Argante clearly aware of your presence, but simply uninterested. You waste no time checking on Cain, Maeve, and the others. While much of the chamber has been destroyed by the explosion, amazingly, you and your champions, as Proteus promised, are unharmed. What can we do, my lord? We've got to try and stop it. You cannot stop the inevitable. Proteus struggles to stand, stepping towards the gushing flow of black, seemingly mesmerized by the horrific sight. While the Magus stands distracted, a large purple glow flashes out, leaving in its wake a behemoth shadow construct, something much larger and completely unlike anything your champions have faced. The shadow immediately turns from the portal and approaches your party, its eyes trailing long wisps of crimson energy. The creature opens its mouth, letting loose a growl-like moan. Proteus stumbles before the construct and raises his hand to halt its approach. Though the Magus can barely hold his hand outstretched, his voice is powerful and clear. Back! These 7 are with me. The shadow construct pauses, looks for a long moment at Proteus, then begins to turn back. 7. There's 8 of us. The shadow construct pauses, looks for a long moment at Proteus, then begins to turn back. Without warning, the abomination of darkness whips around and shoves Proteus down, hurling him across the floor, coming to rest a few feet away from you. The Magus looks to you and tries to rise, his body still weakened from his time on the crystal throne. He calls to you in your mind, asking for aid. Without second thought, you rush to his side and help him to his feet. As you do so, you look back to see the behemoth construct converging on your champions. Fight time! Organte Essence, 75,000 health, 100% void resistant. Drains life from multiple targets. Shoots void projectiles that paralyze. Rain from the sky. Pulls targets and stuns them. Void bolts that immobilize. Large void projectile that deals high damage. He has no armor and no resistance to anything except void damage. All right. Move forward. You too. You too. Buff everybody. I need you to move away from these guys. Buff yourself. Set out your totem. You move far away. You move here. And go ahead and engineer. Buff yourself. Nuke. You move a little further. I don't want people too close together. Nuke. Proteus. Champions of Otara. I may be physically too weak to fight this abomination myself, but I am far from powerless to aid you. Take from me a fraction of what I possess, and send this construct back to the darkness from which it came. I'm guessing he's buffing us with something. That's my hope. Ooh! Alright. Good. A little further. Nope. I like the ability for me to slow time. You can still shoot from there. Yep. Alright, everybody attack him again. Alright, you have a heal you can do to help all the little guys. You blast away. You have nothing at the moment. Blast away. All right. need you to step back again a little further. You might be okay, but step back a little further. You step back a little further. And my silly tank can now move out. All right, and now he can go back again. Uh-oh, you need healing. Move over a little bit, away from the crystal thingies. You should be okay if you get to that spot. You move behind that rock. You're okay, I think. You need to move a little further. You're behind that silly rock. Now you can shoot. You put this thing up. Buff yourself. Nuke him from long range. Put the tank out. Frost freeze him. Buff everybody. I think we're okay right now. All right, you step back again. You step back again. I think you're okay, but step over a little bit. You come flying out again. See what happens. Those things again. You back up a little further. You head back in because, yeah, you got all kinds of resistances. You send your robots. You send your totem to help the robots. You throw out your freeze. You throw out your thing. And then heal all the little robots up. Step back in and fire. Very good. Good job, guys. I'm not even going to run away this time. Perfect. Perfect job. You have defeated the shadow. Alas, it was just a tiny fragment of Argante's essence. Rest now and talk to me again when you are ready to finish your journey. Okay. Let's see what the library book says. Oh, just a new beast. The Argante essence. How we doing? All right. More armor. Not good. Can you use it, dwarf? Sure. Dwarf can use it. He'd lose fire resist. He'd lose, but gain some void. Not that it matters. I don't really play him. But you get more health regen and more stuff. It's not bad. It's an upgrade for this guy. In some ways it's an upgrade, in some ways it's not. Let's see what it does DPS wise. It went down, that's what I thought. All right, let's see. You don't understand. Proteus has let the Organti into your world. Yet he saved you and your allies from the explosion of the portal and the monstrous shadow. Oh, I don't understand. Because what's he doing? What have you done? Whisper flies into a rage, lunging towards Proteus with her hand ablaze with magical energy. Kayla, his sister, the engineer, the Frostling giant Boron, and the archer Maeve fall upon the mystic, restraining her with all their effort. We must destroy him while we still can. The prophecy is true. I don't know what's come over you, Whisper, but now is not the time to lose our heads. Cain, which is my champion tank, and the dwarf, Reckon. As Cain and Rackham approach, Whisper stops, resisting, and instead mumbles to herself. The prophecy, you don't understand. We're doomed. All of Artura is doomed. With a sudden flurry of resistance, Whisper explodes, more intent than ever to end Proteus. It takes the combined effort of all your champions to control her. Let me go, fools. Proteus must die. Do not be too harsh with your companion. If not for her help, you may not have reached me. Her effort till now has been exemplary. You have all done exemplary as well as I could have ever hoped for. Proteus shakes his head, his face long with disappointment, loses much of its color. You do not know the pains to which I suffer, that you must now all die, that I must take your lives. Your champions go limp in disbelief, loosening their hold on Whisper, still trying to comprehend the first Magus's words. You watch as the mystic shakes herself free. Your disbelief has squandered our greatest chance. Now unhand the Queen of Shadows. What are you saying, brother? Tell me you don't mean it. I truly wish it were not true, but their lives I must take. No, I won't allow it. My dear sister, do not despair. You have been the single greatest light in my life. I never intended to rob the future of your spirit. This is why I had you placed in the suspension pod. You will be spared of what is to come. You will go back into the suspension. Back into that frozen box for another 1,000 years, I'd rather die. By the great spirits, what happened to you, Proteus? Time has happened. So much time. If you saw the world as I see it, you would know that it is the only way. Perhaps my brother truly was lost 1,000 years ago. I won't let you do it, Proteus. I won't let you do any of it. Kayla lunges towards her brother. Her robotic hand recoiled in a fist, prepared to strike a devastating blow. Proteus turns to face me. His face relaxed, his eyes unconcerned. With a wave of the back of his hand, his sister freezes, motionless, Her eyes open wide as her body turns a paler blue. Small crystals of ice frost over her skin as the sparkle in her eyes is extinguished. Your entire party moves swiftly to her defense. With weapons drawn in magic charge, they rush against Proteus. If it's a fight you won't, Magus, it's a fight you'll get. And you will find in your weakened physical state, we are more than capable of overcoming you. Proteus steps back, his face scrunched in anger, his eyes glow bright blue, and his body writhes with magical energy. Yet, as the giant points out, his frame is indeed weakened. The effort causes Proteus to tumble to his knees, with his head lowered to the ground. Almost out of breath, the Magus speaks softly. You dare attack me, Proteus? Proteus looks up to your champions. His voice grows strong and loud. I am the first and last Magus of Artara. It is not for mortal beings such as you to decide my fate. If you choose to offer your lives through combat, so be it. As Cain's sword comes crashing down against Proteus's lowered head, you lunge forward and block the attack with your own blade. You again feel another presence in your body. No matter how hard you try, you cannot resist Proteus's will. My lord, why do you defend him? He seeks to kill us. And so he shall. I would have given you honorable, clean, peaceful deaths. Instead, you choose to die in violence. Get back, Kay. That's not my lord. It's Proteus. The Frostling is right, of course. In my weakened physical condition, you few would have been more than a match for me. But in this body, with all my power at its command, you have no chance of defeating me. What do we do now? The only way to stop Proteus is to harm my lord. You watch yourself swing your blade at your old friend. Your heart crumbles at the thought of killing Cain and the others you care about. Then in the back of your mind, you sense the feeling of despair is not only your own. Somehow a piece of Cain and the others remains connected to you, even without the crystal throne beneath you. You summon every ounce of will that remains your own and speak to your champions' minds one last time. Do not hesitate. Kill me. So, we're fighting against me and Proteus. My champions are fighting against Proteus, and Proteus's mind-controlled me. All 6 champions scramble for their weapons. Proteus was the greatest magi that ever lived. Now he is a divinity. Do they have any hopes of defeating such a powerful being? They cringe at the thought of killing you as well. But who's going to be in my party? My engineer's frozen. Okay, I have my engineer. How she became unfrozen, I do not know. Oh, this is where I'm able to control 6. And the engineer's not here. That makes sense. But I can now control all 6 of these guys. Oh, wow. 2 of them are kind of low level. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Don't have my engineer. We need to focus everything and everybody against one thing. We're sending the dwarf after him, I guess. You. Send him. I don't think the dwarf's going to survive that guy. I'd like all my people to take on this guy. if possible. All right. Hang on. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave the stream. I'm going to leave the game right here where it is and continue. Hopefully, after these guys get finished working, and then I'll be right back. So, stay tuned.